Hi, my name is Pitmaster Broda. You might know me as that guy who does those annoying video responses as Yoda on Twitter. What you might not know about me is I have a very diverse amount of opinions about games and movies because I'm not a sheep like you. Let's face it, we both know a lot of you only like some things because you're just going with the crowd, or you hate it because your little pea brain can't understand its true genius. So how about you sit down, shut up, and don't look at me like that. So I've seen Avengers Endgame, and now that I've had a few weeks to reflect on it, I have to say that's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Now some of you may think that I'm going too far with that statement, to which I'll reply that this is a video and you can't interrupt me, so you have to sit down and shut up. Anyways, Endgame has some big problems that we need to address, and some of these problems also extend into Infinity War and various other Marvel films leading into Endgame, so like Philip DeFranco, let's hop right in. By the way, this is gonna have a lot of spoilers, so if you didn't see Endgame, then it means you saved a lot of money by not seeing a bad movie. Number 1. Why did Thanos need to wipe half the population of the universe? You have the Infinity Stones. You can do literally anything you want with them since the Reality Stone can alter reality itself. Make every living being live forever with no need for food and water. Make it so resources are not required for travel or anything else. Quadruple the size of the universe so we never run out of resources or space for another billion years. Thanos in the comics just wanted to kill a lot of people to impress Lady Death, who he wanted as his lover. It makes no sense for Thanos to resort to wiping out half the population of the known universe in order to save it, when he has the power to literally reshape it. The stupidest part is when Thanos realizes everyone who's left alive hates him for wiping out half the universe. Wow, didn't see that one coming. So he wants to restart the universe and do it over and wipe their minds so they never know a wipe happened. Why? Just make infinite resources, or not allow the population growth past a certain point. Make everyone immortal, you stupid Number 2. The Avengers look like huge twats in Endgame. When the Avengers first find Thanos in the beginning of Endgame, Thanos doesn't resist at all as Thor beats the hell out of him and basically executes him. How heroic are you for pulling up on someone who feels pretty bad about what he's done, even if it's pretty stupid considering the points I went over in the first complaint, restraining said person, and then beating him senseless before murdering him? This was a punk-ass move and entirely unnecessary since they wanted information about the stones and Thanos was 100% willing to talk with him and tell him exactly what he did. Then the second time, they fight a younger Thanos towards the end of the film, and they need an entire army even though this Thanos doesn't have the Infinity Stones, which doesn't make no damn sense, and they still managed to lose 2 main characters. The dumbest part is that they still couldn't take him out in a real fight and they had to snap him out of existence. That means the Avengers technically never beat Thanos at full strength. I thought Captain Marvel was going to call Thanos his manager and get him cancelled. Speaking of Captain Marvel, number 3. Captain Marvel flirts with a 15-year-old boy. Listen, I'm a bit of a perv myself, but this was kind of messed up. Hey Peter Parker, you got something for me? You bet he does, Aunt Larson. I'm having flashbacks right now to when my best friend's mom next door used to make googly eyes at me when I was just turning 14 and told me how handsome I looked. The way she says it's really flirty. I'm getting all kinds of fuzzy vibes out of this one. Can't wait for the next few Captain Marvel movies where Peter is unofficially made into her personal sidekick. Rule 34 is gonna love this one. Number 4. Thor is playing Fortnite and the Hulk dabs. Seriously, why is this happening? Doesn't Endgame take place a bit into the future after Infinity War and therefore our current date? Wouldn't the remaining world population have moved on past Fortnite by now? Wouldn't Epic Games be making way less money from Fortnite with so many people gone now, even to even bother to keep running? What if the snap annihilated the entire Epic Games team? Who's running the servers? My autism started firing off questions about this as I watched it happen. Also, why is Hulk dabbing in Endgame if it takes place in the future? That's like me doing the Numa Numa dance in 2020. Stop it. Number 5. Captain America is a total a-hole. Steve Rogers goes back in time to marry his sweetheart, Peggy Carter, but let's be serious. We all know he really wanted to just go back in time to get away from the blacks and the gays, because he's a good old boy. He probably couldn't wait to ask Stark to get the fuck out of our timeline the second he learned that he could time travel. Plus, why would you want to leave the progressive decade we're currently enjoying to go back to the time of bigots and white America, unless you're a fascist? Also, because Steve was in the future, he knew about all the tragedies that would happen in America, like mass shootings and terrorist attacks like 9/11, but he doesn't bother to say a word about them because he's too busy enjoying his perfect Leave It to Beaver life when he eventually turns into a boomer and ends up trashing the economy for our grandchildren. You bastard. Number 6. Why didn't Thanos just use the Infinity Stones to insta-kill all the remaining Avengers immediately after he did the first snap? Seriously, why? He knew they were probably going to come back and find him based on his reaction at the start of the film. Even he had to have known that just snapping the gems out of existence probably isn't going to be enough given there's literal wizards in the MCU, and Marvel has some of the smartest heroes in comics that could potentially figure out a way to undo his plan. Number 7. You have to watch 21 MCU movies to know what's going on. This is insane. Typically in a film series like James Bond, Star Trek, or Godzilla, for example, it's not required to watch all the previous ones to make sense of the latest movie. Usually in cases where seeing previous movies are required, it's limited to 1 or 2 previous films of a trilogy, such as the original Star Wars trilogy or the Lord of the Rings trilogy. However, Endgame has so many characters, references, and Easter eggs that you'll be positively confused if you're a casual viewer that's just starting your MCU experience by watching Avengers Endgame. Stan Lee himself once said that he used to write comics in a way so that any casual reader could pick up a book anywheres in the series and be immediately caught up as to what was going on despite the ongoing storyline. That's just simply not possible with Endgame unless you binge watch a huge chunk of the MCU films or hit up Wikipedia. Let's be real here. Disney's putting out 4 Marvel movies a year, and each one of them is being presented as an all-flash, ready-to-take-your-cash hoe, just like a high-class hooker with Kevin Feige as their pimp. We as an audience need to get back into a relationship with good movies again instead of satisfying our simple urges for a quick jolt of pleasure. Technically, I don't have to watch a bunch of extra movies to figure out what's going on in Batman and Robin or 2015's Fantastic Four, so that makes those movies way better than Avengers Endgame already. Anyways, that's a wrap for this video. If you guys think I got anything wrong, leave a comment down below. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace!
Thank you.